Hey, everybody, it's me again, Ian Simmons of Kicking the Seat. Who else would it be? And we are here for a special edition of Don't Read the Comments. Yes, it's been only a couple weeks since I posted the last version of this monthly or semi monthly or whenever I get around to it series. But we've had such a response to the RRR live stream we did about a week and a half ago with so many comments and so many views. We just crossed 10,000 views this morning, which is by far the most views we've ever had on a live stream on Kicking the Seat. So thank you for those who tuned in. And if you haven't tuned in, you can go ahead and check it out. There's no time like the present. And also, well, first of all, if you haven't seen RRR, SS Rajamouli's amazing Best Picture of 2022, I'm calling it right now. You can watch it on Netflix, or if you happen to be one of the lucky few who are able to catch it in cinemas, because I know it's playing in certain places in America, and I assume elsewhere. You can go check it out on the big screen. Take it from me, sight unseen, it is worth the price of admission. Yes, it's 3 hours. Yes, it's a Tollywood movie with subtitles, but it is unlike anything you've ever seen before. I'm saying that from the heart. It's truly a wonderful film. It's got everything. So yeah, check out the movie either on the big screen if you can, or on Netflix, and then watch our discussion with Earth's Mightiest Critics, the roundtable, and check out the comments and my reaction to the comments. As I mentioned, we were deluged with suggestions, with recommendations, with tips for what we got right and wrong in our discussion of the movie. So thought I'd do a special version of Don't Read the Comments to go through all of it. Now, initially, I was going to just make a list of all the movies that people recommended, but I figured that might be kind of cheating. I don't want to cheap out on you, the fans who are watching this. So we're going to go through every comment I've received to date, right up until the point where I put together the slides for this video. So I hope you're strapped in. I hope you've got some coffee. I know I do. And yeah, we're just going to go for it. So if you are unfamiliar, Don't Read the Comments is the semi-regular series where I basically come on here and I read out all of the feedback that we get on kickseat.com, on the Kicking the Seat YouTube channel, on the Kicking the Seat Meta/Facebook fan page. And we have a discussion about whatever you send in. I answer questions, I respond to criticisms, I flesh out ideas that might have come up during the show that you were curious about. So that's what we're going to do here in this special RRR edition. So let's get to it without further ado. First up, Nike Overlord says Tumbad 2018 is my recommendation for any horror fantasy fans. It's a must-watch movie. I'm going to keep that in mind, and we're going to come back to that one because at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about the future of Indian film on this channel. So yeah, Tumbad 2018. Now, please forgive me at the outset. There's probably going to be some titles, maybe some names that I butcher while reading these comments out. Please don't take it personally. I'm just new to a lot of this. So, but thank you very much. I said Nike Overlord. It might just be Nick Overlord. Sorry. I should probably be using my glasses for this thing. RG said, this movie would fall in an established genre in India called masala, mix of spices movies, essentially commercial movies which are a mix of everything. This is probably one of the best examples of that genre, in my opinion. And then there's also the serious and artsy cinema if one prefers. Well, thank you. I believe masala may have come up during the discussion in the live comments of the RR episode, but it's good to have some more detail on that. So thank you, RG. Prakar Pandit says, this is what we call explanation. Damn, nailed it. I assume you mean the entire video that we explained, or at least our perspectives on the movie. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Gyan Ash Eka says, you guys should check out Minai Morali. Is that if I have that right? Minai Moray. Again, I'm jotting all these down. If I can't pronounce them now, I'm pretty sure I will by the time we watch these films. So, a goofy Indian superhero film from Malayalam cinema. I can't even pronounce the word cinema. What's going on with me today? It's available on Netflix, made with a budget of 2.5 million. CGI in this film is a bit janky, but I enjoyed it more than Thor: Love and Thunder. From what I understand of Thor: Love and Thunder, and again, I'm still on my year-long superhero moratorium, that doesn't sound like a hard feat to top. Eli Glassner says, Sardar Udham Singh, available on Amazon Prime, is the best Indian movie of the year 2021. If possible, please watch it. 70% of the movie is in English. It would be easy for you guys to follow. It's Oscar-level filmmaking. Thank me later for the suggestion. Well, I will. I'll thank you right now for the suggestion, Eli. So Santhosh Krishnan replies, Kashmir Flies is Oscar level," and Pramod Gupta says, responding to Santhosh, "Yup," with two P's. That's why I pronounce the "yup." Very, very hard P's there. So, yep, it's on the list. Now, I keep mentioning a list. I did actually go through and create a spreadsheet of the titles and the people who suggested these movies, because as I teased at the end of the show, there'll be a bit of an announcement on that. So, yeah, one thing I love is in these comments, I keep seeing recurring titles. So there's definitely movies people are clamoring for us to watch and talk about. So this is great. Vinay S says, "I agree with your annotation. This looks like Batman versus Superman. How I wish Hollywood superhero movies had more of emotions, motives, simple conflicts, etc., rather than just exercising power." Uh, couldn't have said it better myself. So, yes, agreed. Here we go. Abhishek Mondal writes in with an epic comment. I have not read through this one because I looked at it. It was just like this big wall of text. That's not a criticism, but I thought I'd experience this live with y'all. You will love this movie more if you deeply analyze every metaphoric reference of the movie, because SS Rajamouli shows a movie with less cool dialogue. In his movies, the imagery talks more than dialogue. I've analyzed some deep meanings of some scenes, and there are more scenes like these. The whole bridge sequence is cool, but at the same time, it also summarizes the whole movie plot. Ram's mission is regarding the country, jumps with the flag, and Beam's mission is to save the child from his tribe, uh, save the child that he's trying to get back from his tribe. Not that the tribe is going after the child. Just want to correct that, or at least make it clear to me. Jumps to get the child, and in this journey, they exchange their missions, exchange a flag and child, and eventually succeed helping each other. The chariot was on fire because when Ram came, the place was full of wild animals, and the animals were afraid of fire. So to get rid of animals on his way to Beam, he did that, and here came with director of 1000 IQ. It also represents that Ram is a fire. I want to tell you something about water and fire. Somebody asked Rajamouli why he chooses water and fire as a friend. It is never possible because they're opposites and don't like each other. Rajamouli replied that they are opposites, but if they come together and work with each other, they can do amazing things, like they can create steam, which can run the motor of this whole world. There is a scene during the friendship montage playing when both of them run beside the train and the train releases steam. Most people will think it is just for looking gorgeous, but it is not. The thing is, when water, Beam, and fire, Ram, come together, they create steam. It is the reference and also looks beautiful. Two, when the interval title card was about to come, there was a scene where the blood drops on Ram's hand from his eye and it creates steam. If you look deeply, you will see that. There are many references. I can't tell more. In his movies, he does not add any cool dialogue. He just shows imagery and reference. If you see, then you will not see any cool dialogues in his movies. His movie making is different. And in his film, a hero is a hero who has no limits. He's not there to describe anyone about realistic physics fail things. Let's see. Continuing on, you can react to the upcoming Indian mythology fantasy based movie trailer Brahmastra, which will be distributed by Disney in the US and Canada. And RRR's director, SS Rajamouli, is the distributor of this movie in South India. You'll be shocked after seeing the visual effects. And the links to the trailer, which I got to check out. And then it looks like there's an explanation, like a description video of the trailer, and a pre-release short promo. All things I have not watched these, obviously, but I'll definitely check them out. So thank you. You can also check out Bahubali 1 from 2015 and Bahubali 2 from 2017 by the same director of RRR on Netflix. The CGI is decent because of the budget. Fun fact, RRR's real full form is not Rise, Roar, Revolt. Actually, when the film was announced in 2018, it was the working title for the movie of three biggest superstars in India named Ram Charan, N.T. Rama Rao Jr., and S.S. Rajamouli, the director, who only knows how to combine spectacle with emotion. So the full form of RRR is Ram Rama Rao Rajamouli. Then for the English version, they named it Rise, Roar, Revolt. The director did a cameo in this movie. Could you guess where? Oh, I love a cliffhanger here. Talking about pitching the bike, it was a British bike. Wait, you're not going to tell me where the cameo was? Oh, now I got to go. Well, any excuse to watch RRR again. Talking about picking the bike, it was a British bike, 45 kilograms, so a normal soldier can grab it, and both the characters are not only from real life characters, but also Ram's character has been taken from an Indian epic called Ramayana, and another one Beam's character has been taken from another Indian epic called Mahabharata. In this epic, he has the strength of 10,000 elephants. I told that this director is a genius. He took two mythological god characters, what you could see as a statue in the movie is a statue of Lord Ram. In the end, he became Lord Ram. In the last fight of the movie, a background song was being played. In that song, they explain everything. Um, Ahmed replies, just copy and paste everywhere. I agree. This is an amazing comment. I love the additional context, breaking apart the lore and the symbolism. It's again when I go back and watch RRR again, I think I'm going to take notes, or maybe I'll just watch it again as a spectacle of these things in the back of my head. And the third time will be to take notes and break everything apart. This is a masterclass in storytelling. Yeah. So thank you again for the comment. My Simple Lifestyle Sum says, kindly watch Buabali 1 and Buabali 2 by the same director as Rajamouli. This is the best movie made by SS Rajamouli. I assume you're talking about RRR is the best movie, and not the other two that you mentioned. But yeah, I'm seeing those names pop up, recurring themes. I love those. Suresh Kumar says this movie is Hundudva propaganda movie. Reply from Rahul Samudrala. How? And Hassan Ahmed replies with 4 crying laughing faces. Now, I will confess that I didn't know what Hundutva propaganda meant, so I went and I looked it up. And it turns out, according to the dictionary on the internet, an ideology seeking to establish the hegemony of Hindus and the Hindu way of life. Now, for various reasons, many of which laid out in the RRR roundtable discussion, I am the least qualified person to determine the accuracy of the OP's comment. So I'll just leave that for the viewer to decide. And who knows, maybe in my future journeys into Indian cinema and culture, I will begin to understand what that means, and I'll actually be able to stake out a position that makes some kind of sense. Harsha Miraj says, Sardar Udham, next Indian movie, it's on Amazon Prime. Noted. Rahul Singh says, Gangs of Wasseypur 1 and 2, best gangster movies. Ooh, gangster movies. I like that. Aftab Hussain says, you should watch Sardar Udham Singh. All right. Marius Soron says, great review. Loved it. Thank you very much. Tadur Reddy says, RRR Blu-ray in Telugu is available at eBay. Comes from UK, but plays in USA, and quality is good and inexpensive. All right. Honestly, I think I'm going to wager that RRR is going to sweep the American Oscars so hard and become such a phenomenon that someone like Criterion or a US distributor is going to put out an extra packed 4K Blu-ray, and I'm going to wait to watch that. But yeah, it's good to know these options are out there, just in case I can't hold out and give in to my weak will. Magic Theater says, I know that the British Empire seems very one-dimensional mustache twirling, but the reality wasn't that far from the truth. Dogs and Indians not allowed entry was an actual sign on British office buildings during that time, along with shooting peaceful protesters, using babies as alligator bait, etc. Reality is sometimes worse than fiction. Well, I'm glad we didn't see that alligator bait thing in RRR. Oh, wow. But yeah, thanks for the history lesson. Popun Jina says, Brahmastra is another Indian movie going on in U.S. theaters. All right. Pen Down says, please do watch the movie Sardar Udham Tumbad Andahadun, Gully Boy, Padmavat, Utta Punjab, Sarpada Parabai. I'm dying over here. Also, Kashmir Files, and yeah, by Pramod Gupta made that extra recommendation as a comment there. So yes, all on the list. CEI Studio India says, do check out Tanhaji, the Unsung Warrior. CEI Studios India, did you perhaps release Tanhaji, the Unsung Warrior? I appreciate the plug, if that's true. There's some great marketing there. But yep, it's on the list. Vishwa S writes again saying, first 3 episodes of She-Hulk cost $75 million, whereas RRR took $69 million. Now try watching She-Hulk knowing this fact and try not to complain. I dare you. With a crying, laughing face emoji. Yes, indeed. Now, as you may know, Vishwa, as I mentioned earlier in this show, I am prohibited by myself from watching superhero TV shows for the next probably 6 months or so, because I took a year off from watching them. But yeah, that sounds about right. I think that checks out, even though I haven't actually watched She-Hulk. Nothing can compare to RRR. Vishal Mohandas says it's still available in select theaters. RRR, yes. I was listening to Chris Gore on the Film Threat podcast, maybe a live stream, I think last week. And he said that he's got tickets to see RRR in LA. He's seen the movie like 7 times in the big screen, I think, with SS Rajamouli actually doing some kind of a Q&A there. So I'm in the Midwest, so there's no way that's going to happen. But I'm going to keep my ear to the ground. And if he comes anywhere near the Chicagoland area, I'm going to camp out waiting for that experience. So yeah, but thanks for the tip anyway. Rohit Sengel says Bahubali is a must watch movie for you. That's come up a number of times. So yeah. Rohit Sangoy says SS Rajamouli became best director in India after Bahubali 1 and 2. All right. Let's see. The Winter Soldier wasn't so much a fan of your Disney Plus show. By the way, Winter Soldier, no offense. Anyway, hey, please watch Gangs of Wasseypur 1 and 2. It's one of the greatest movies to have come out of the Indian cinema. The movie is set in the hinterlands of India, spanning decades and generations, and the story is about the coal mafias and politicians. Trust me, after watching this movie, you will have a whole new appreciation for the Indian cinema. I know RRR is all about bravado, bromance, and epicness, but this movie is on a different level, and the acting in this movie is some of the best you will see in the whole wide world. You will not be disappointed, that's for sure. Even Martin Scorsese applauded this movie. Sold. All right. Blizzard says that's not Beam's own sister. It's a cultural thing to call elders as brother. Yes, we talked about this on the live stream. One of Earth's Mightiest Critics had referred to the girl from the village as being literally Beam's sister, but I think I made the point that it was more of a bond between the villagers as being familial without actually being blood relatives. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Blizzard also says, guys, you need to check out KGF. All right, KGF it is, whatever that means. Is that the prequel to RRR? I don't know. I'm just kidding. Sagarika Mahanti says, I think you guys missed the chance to watch it on theaters in its second release in USA. Encore RRE. It's encore with 3 R's for those of you who are listening and not watching, which I love. That should be a hashtag, especially during Oscar season, because this thing needs to be out in theaters like in a major way. But yeah, I know it played here in the US a couple of times. And as I mentioned earlier, it may be getting some kind of a special screening in Los Angeles, but I don't know if it's going to go further than that. All right. Again, the movie is shot in Telugu language, which then got dubbed in 4 other Indian languages. Hindi is one of them. The actors dubbed their own voice. Netflix bought only the Hindi version. That's why the problem. Yeah, I don't know why. And as I mentioned, I watched this in like the Brazilian Portuguese track, so I really haven't experienced RR the way it was meant to be seen. So yeah, and that's hopefully with a proper US, ultra HD 4K release with special features, maybe coming out at some point. It'd be great if you could get all 4 of those languages, all the way it was meant to be seen and interpreted, because I would love to watch it in Telugu. Anup Moria writes, this channel has 800 videos, and most of them that I looked at haven't crossed even 100 views. This is unbelievable. How come he still has motivation to keep posting new ones? Believe me, my family wonders the same thing. Am I missing something? Where are my Indian friends? This channel needs our help and shares. Well, Anup, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I do this out of passion, and certainly not for the views. 800, I should clarify, the 800th episode spectacular, that was for technically the Kicking the Seat podcast. There is an audio podcast version of this YouTube show that goes up on kickseat.com. the YouTube channel has only been around for about 3 years now, and we've got just over 400 episodes. So if you're watching this and you're curious about other movies and interviews and things I've talked about, go to kickseat.com and you'll find an entire, like, double the backlog, or double the catalog, I guess, of these conversations and reviews. So, but yeah, thank you again. I'm going to keep going as long as I can. There's no really limit except time and energy, and I seem to have an abundance of that. So, yep, thank you very much. It's good to know. I'm appreciated, and I extend that thanks from Earth's Mightiest Critics, my frequent guests and friends. All right, Vikrant S. Chowdhury. This is the inspiration for me coming up with a list. So there's a lot here. Bubali 1, strong second half, boring first half, but at the end you manage to cling onto your seat. Bahubali 2, strong first half and more, but wasted climax, yet you won't leave your seat. Both Bahubali 1 and 2 have been directed and partly written by SS Rajamouli. Yes, another, that's one that keeps coming up. Iga, awesome love story told in a way different manner. Also one of Rajamouli's gems. The CGI is absolutely primitive in it, as this was the first time he experimented with it. That'll be interesting to see. Pushpa, another recent release. KGF 1 and KGF 2, both are blockbuster masala movies. Rockstar, Rocket Singh, Vikram, Kashmir Files, The True Reality of Kashmir. Shirsha, Uri, Sadar Udam, Rocketry. There are many more, but these are just to prepare you to warm up towards diversity of latest Indian movies. Ram Leela and Padmavat. And then also Chak D, fictional work of a real story. So yes, thank you for the filmography, or not exactly the filmography, but the list of movies I need to watch. This is, again, just spectacular. All right, Vikrant Chowdhury writes, it will be released in USA and other parts of the world again, nearly in 50 languages. I guess the date is either 21st of September or 21st of October 2022. I'm not sure of the date, but it's soon. The people that are most crazy for it to be released in their language are Thailand and Japan. Well, 21st of September is next week. I haven't heard anything about this. 21st of October, that's closer to like awards consideration, so I could definitely see that. But yeah, I got to do some digging. Thank you, Vikrant. The original language of the film is Telugu. Yes, as mentioned previously. But thanks for the reminder. Let's see. Original Telugu version is on Z5 channel. I don't know. There's a billion channels out there, so I'll have to see if I can even find that. But yeah. I found this podcast great, actually, but strangely, you have so less subscribers, while some fools have got some hundreds of thousands of followers with nothing much for a review podcast. Yeah, again, kind of reinforcing that earlier point. I do appreciate the love there. We are a pretty small channel, but I have to say, in the last week and a half since the RRR review went up, or the live stream, we've seen quite a bit of growth in subscribers. So if you've joined up because of RRR, I'm glad that we found something to talk about that you appreciated. And if you join up for other reasons, hey, it doesn't matter. We're happy to have you, and we hope to continue to entertain and educate and be educated by our audience and the films that we are exposed to moving forward. So yeah, thank you much. Rose and Rain writes in some good movies: Tumbad, Andahun, Barfi, Pushpa, 777 Charlie, Bahubali 1 and 2, Three Idiots, KGF 1 and 2, Jalbeem, Uri, Sardar Udam, Radhasan, Dasvi, Vikram Vida, Darlings, Padmavat, Bajiro Mastani, Ramlila, and Haidir. All right, all on the list, which I went in I even alphabetized. So yeah, that's how deep into this I'm getting. Rose and Rain says, you guys were awesome. Loved this discussion. Well, thank you, Rose and Rain. And thank you for commenting and also caring enough to give that big inventory of your favorite movie recommendations. Watch KGF 1 and KGF and KGF 2, please, says Madhuram Modani. We will get to it eventually. Them, I should say. Terra Incognita Central says, Americans discover the world for the first time. As I think I may have mentioned in the RR discussion, or maybe it was on another live stream, I and several of Earth's Mightiest Critics are education is mostly in movies, and that applies to everything from mathematics to science to world history. So yeah, we were the kids like drawing doodles and stuff in class and watching movies and playing video games as a kid, not necessarily cracking open ye old books. So yes, it is quite something to watch us break into the world of international cinema in this way and talk about a historical action film. To some we might have sounded pretty ignorant and yeah, sorry for that, I guess. But I do appreciate the spirit with which you and all the commenters so far have kind of welcomed us into this world and been ready to educate us rather than just making, heaping derision. So yes, thank you. And finally, Sabu writes in with a comment that came in literally minutes before I was putting these slides together. So he made it in just under the wire. At minute 54, that's the gesture Indians use to say yes. Like in other parts of the world, people have up to down head movement, but in India, we have side to side movement. Yes, this is, I believe, in relation to when we were talking about Beam's early relationship with Jenny. There was a language barrier there, and Ram was helping him to communicate, and he was very nervous. So I guess he was answering yes to a lot of questions he didn't fully understand. So he was shaking his head side to side. And we're like wondering what's that about, because we're not accustomed to that, being Americans who are discovering the world for the first time, as we mentioned previously. So yeah, thank you for that. That brings us to the end of the comments. Now, I believe and I know for a fact that we're going to get more feedback on RRR's, the live stream that we did, and we'll continue reading those comments out on a future edition of Don't Read the Comments. So, yeah, thank you again for writing in. Thank you again for caring enough to comment, and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Now, I enjoy the show so much, and I was so blown away by RRR and the possibilities in Indian cinema that I decided, and I ran this by Earth's Mightiest Critics, and folks are on board. We'll see how much participation we actually get, because it's going to be kind of tricky to align everyone's schedules and stuff, as it always is. But I'm planning to do a monthly live stream dedicated to an Indian film. And I'm going to be using that master list that I've comprised based on all of your suggestions to form the sort of the agenda, the schedule for that. Now, probably start towards the end of next month, so October 2022. And I am looking, because I'm doing exclusively horror movies and scary movies of different kinds for October, because it's Halloween month and all that. I'm going to look for an Indian horror movie. Now, Mark the Movie Man Krawcheck recommended a film called Hiss, which he seems to be very fond of. And there was an early recommendation here on Don't Read the Comments for an Indian suspense or horror movie. So I'll definitely take that in consideration. If you have a favorite Indian horror movie that you can recommend, or something you think would be appropriate for our inaugural, official inaugural show, please leave that down in the comments. Part of the fun of Don't Read the Comments is I read all the comments, even ones that are posted to Don't Read the Comments videos. So yes, thank you. And again, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of everyone who's involved in Kicking the Seat, including Earth's Mightiest Critics, thank you so much for watching that live stream, for enjoying it, for commenting. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We invite you to join the party. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And that goes for the RRR live stream. We have a huge number of likes on that, but if you haven't liked it and you did like it, go ahead and like it. But until next time, whenever that is, whatever that is, thanks very much for watching this edition of Don't Read the Comments for Kicking the Seat. I am always Ian Simmons, and you are always awesome. So thanks again, and take care.